Welcome back to Dave's physics lessons. Dave's diary updates. Now, the physics part of that, what do you call it? The introduction. Yeah, one of those things. Plumb bobs. I often see videos when guys are putting in doors that they don't use a plumb bob at all, but they use a long spirit level. And I go, I've never, for all the hundreds and hundreds of doors I've installed, never used a long level. I've always used a plumb bob. I'm going to get back to that in a minute. This is the physics that I was talking about. You can't get anything more accurate than a plumb bob. Well, so long as the wind's not blowing, because they can be a right real pain in the ass to use when there's a lot of wind. And quite often on building sites, there is. Anyway, plumb bobs. This is a particularly nice one. It's mainly what I want to actually, cover in the Dave's Diary updates. Is this particular one. It's a model, Tajima model, and it's a static line plumb bob, the mechanism, where you can pull the plumb bob down to the height you want and then let go. It's there. Gone are the days of hitting a nail into your whatever you're going to plumb up and hang a bit of a builder's line with a plumb bob on the end of it. I've got 3 or 4 of those old plumb bobs, but this is the one I go to. I got stolen. I lost my previous one, and so straight away went and bought another one. They're that good. It's so simple. It's got a very fine line. I can lift it up to wherever I want and let go. Once the plumb bob is stabilized, that measurement is as accurate as you can possibly ask. Now, just putting it back there. This particular model of plumb bob, you can choose between 60mm and 50mm. This one's, I've always had it set at 60, and it can be measured between the material and the line, and you get exactly the measurement you want. You can go down and check your plumbness of whatever you're wanting plumbed. In this case, I'm going to be looking at the frame and the packer that will be required to put in a couple of door frames, which miraculously I went into my one of my mini storage area, and I've got some old door frames there, and I'm going, or door jambs, and I was going, I think I can repurpose those, which I probably will be doing. One of the things is it's nice to be able to have your packers, your packers already set out, ready for use, so that you can just put your jams straight up against them. In this case, you can't use wedges because I've got material sticking out, and I'm actually going to be putting the packers back inside this little cavity, the recess here. I was thinking about trimming them back. I thought, sounds like work. Forget that. So that's what I'm going to be doing there. I was going to set up and mark out for plumb the packers, and I can do it on both sides, and I will know within very fine tolerances just how the distance between. Now that's where I come back to the use of a plumb, what we call plumb sticks, but a spirit level for doing this sort of work. And I kind of fibbed a little bit in saying that I've never put in a door using a spirit level. Well, I kind of have, but I had to use a straight edge and a spirit level on it to get them straight, get what I wanted. They're brilliant. Having a level that's the full length of your door, absolutely indispensable. You really want one about, depending on your standard of doors where you live, around about 2 meters. Our doors are 1960 long, plus the jamb, plus a little bit of a gap. So around about 2 meters is pretty darn good if you can get one that length and use it. It has an advantage in that it is a solid item that you can push up against a measure and do the same with your packers. If you're using a solid 3-packer setup, you can find out whether, by putting up the straight edge onto it, the spirit level, whether it rocks or not. And we're talking like 1 or 2 millimeter issue can be a pain in the butt for when you're installing a door. And a straight edge, a solid aluminium spirit level straight edge, yes, makes hanging doors much easier. This way you can measure and you can cut and put in the packers, but the problem occurs when you start to have multiple layers of packer material if it's not solid material like wood or some such, because you can get the just a little bit of flex in the materials used. It can often throw your alignment out. So it's just the practicality of that. Can't get any better than that, but you can get more useful, like the straight edge, like I was saying. So yay. The thing that this does really bad job of, and a spirit level does an excellent job of, is doing the level part of in this case the head of the door. That is a little bit hard to do with a plumb bob. So just suggestion, don't try, of course. But no, that one there, the Tajima model, manufacturer of that, brilliant. I got mine stolen once, and I went straight out and got another one because they're that handy. They leave a little pinprick in the material, in the wood, which can be easily masked or filled, and it's also magnetic, so for steel structures it's quite good. So lovely bit of kit that. If you're doing a few doors and you want to trial it out, I wouldn't hesitate at all in suggesting you buy one of these. Not necessarily cheap, but the effectiveness is brilliant. Or probably for not dissimilar money, go get yourself a reasonable sort of straight edge, even a cheap-ish one, so long as the bubble is accurate. You're not going to have a problem, and you've got that added bonus of having it not rock. Well, you can tell whether your packers rock or not. When it comes to this, I'm going to be having big packers. Generally, our packers are around about, I'm going to say, a bit of framing width, 45 mil. That's what we would normally, or wouldn't be surprised to see people using, because we've got lots of it lying around, and we'll cut the packers out of a bit of framing. I'm going to be making longer ones, which actually makes a little bit more of a demand on how accurate they can be, because they can be a bit of a nuisance. But now that I'm in the workshop, hey, easy to do. But I'm doing a double hinge top and bottom. May or may not put one in the middle. It's not really going to help me. A lot of internal doors, lighter doors, don't have a middle hinge. In videos I watch, in New Zealand, just about every single door has 3 hinges. It's what has been done historically, and of course the historical inertia carries on, and that's what you'll see in most countries. You see 3 hinges. What spacing there is at the top and bottom, yeah, that varies a little bit. The main thing that I see people go wrong is they put their bottom hinge down too low, and then they might have trouble knocking the pin out in the future. So that has to be kept up a reasonable distance. I generally go about 75 to 100 mils more than I would come down. I keep the top one just that little bit closer, between 100 to 150 millimeters from the top to the bottom of the hinge, well, top of the door to the hinge, and just that little bit more at the bottom. The middle, well, some people put it in the middle. That's fine. I generally have them around about, now so I'm hedging my comment, around about 1 meter. In fact, I'm going to test myself. Why 1 meter? Well, and what height do you have the door handle? Well, that's varied a lot over the years, over the generations of builders. But think about it if you're an average sort of person, the average height, what your height would be what the height of your hand would be if you go to shake someone's hand. Okay, and I'm going to say about a metre. Now, here's a door jamb here. I prepared earlier. No, I didn't. Where is it? Oh, gosh, look at that. A metre. What's the top? There's that one there. Where are we? Where are we pointing? Not in the right place at all, David. 1 metre. That is because that's upside down. That's not. Okay, so that's the height that I normally would put a door handle. Simply on the practical side, that as you put your hand out, like it's automatic for most people to have shaken 1 or 2 hands in their lives, if you put your hand out, it's automatic that's the height you'll go to, and that's where a door handle should be. When my house was built, it was much, much higher. It's more like 13, 14, probably 1400, 1.4 metres. Yeah, 1.3, about that off the floor. So too was the light switches. And that's where we get a little bit of a discrepancy. The handles and light switches were roughly at the same height for practical reasons. You open up a door and then you can reach across to the light switch. It's something that you can do in the dark, sort of thing. This is a metre, but few houses that I've ever seen in New Zealand in modern times have their lights at a metre. They're generally going to be about 12 to 1300 high, generally. I know that because when we come to join sheets horizontally, quite often they fall close to the join of a sheet, which would be 1200 wide. Is there a specific height? I don't know whether there's... Well, I don't put them in, the electricians do. But I don't know whether there is a recommended ideal height, but I don't know whether there's any such thing as a required height. So I'm just saying I don't know. I'm showing my ignorance in that area. But yeah, not the same height as your door handles in modern time. Yeah, a metre would be rather odd. 12, 1300, yeah, something, 30, whatever. Okay, well that's it. Door jambs. Might put a 4-sided jamb in and put a threshold across that point there. Then again, I might not. Who knows? Might leave the darn thing out. Just so I can roll in with that. That's why I've got the 4 pieces. I thought about that. Also means I can, one of them's got the split jam, and it may well be that gets retired if I can't cut it out. But anyway, there's the physics lesson for today. Plumb bobs. Can't get anything more accurate than a plumb bob, but it's not always as easy to use as is a nice straight edge with a bubble in it. Yeah, but lousy for doing the heads. You kind of really want to do... Well, okay, here's another little tip. One of the things that a lot of people, including myself, forget to do is to measure, to level, or see what the floor is like. That can determine what size or how you lift or lower or shape your door jamb. Sometimes if you've got a badly out of level threshold here, and or this way, where I'm actually putting the hinges on this side, by the way, the big door, measure out with your plumb stick, or your level rather, out this way where your door will open, and occasionally you'll find that the floors are so far out that you may have to do a little bit of an adjustment with your door. Otherwise, you may install your door, think you've done a good job, open it, and it hits the floor. And that's a real pain if you have to start trimming stuff off the bottom of the door. We used to leave 10 mils, what was it? This was a wee while ago, 10 to 15 mils if there's vinyl, and was it 20 or 25 millimeters for carpet, and that was to allow for the carpet and underlay. Carpet has got thicker, and so you may have to lift your door, or put this way, decide how much you cut off the door jamb, because that can be an issue, can be a thing, depending on your thickness of your floor cladding. If you've got engineered flooring, that could be more. We used to get because we used to assemble our own jambs and everything and hang the doors, but you get your doors pre-hung, and sometimes you don't get a choice. You get given what the suppliers, think is adequate. But there are situations where you want the door jamb to go all the way down, but the door to be actually up a bit more. So there's a decent gap between the very bottom of the door and the very bottom of the frame. Otherwise, it looks a bit stupid sometimes if you have to lift the door and the frame and you've got a gap at the bottom of your frame. Yeah. So a builder will have to be aware, and DIYer have to be aware of what their situation is going to require, and you may have to order longer jambs, so just to accommodate that. So all those wee things. God, the amount of doors I've had to trim because I've forgotten, like they've changed the flooring, and I've got called out to a job to say, we've got new carpet, doors won't open. I'm going, yeah, well, but we had old carpet and it was okay. And I'm going, yeah, because carpet now has thicker underlays, and then the carpet itself can be quite often thicker. I think you might have known that. Anyway, day's physics lesson, plumb bob, yay. Straight edges, yay as well. So, yeah. I think, to be fair, there might be some carpenters out there that don't have a plumb bob in their kit. I met a guy who was not a carpenter, but was a carpenter, and he didn't have a hand plane. Yes, don't know how you can live without a hand plane. Anyway, that's it. Physics lesson over. Yeah, that's probably my total knowledge of physics. So there you go. Plumb bobs. Okay, see you in the next one. Bye.